teeth on this particular ratchet look fairly good. One thing I plan to do is actually swap the ratchets, so the 28 will have the 25, 25 will have the 28. Reason being, on this ratchet, 28, so this pedal will be on the left. The tooth, or the paw, it engages most of the ratchet, but it falls in like this, so sometimes it'll get scraped going like that, so this side's worn down. And if I simply swap them out, I'll have the sharper teeth from this side. Plan for the hanger arm, probably going to leave this hole alone. Up here, the red area is where the ratchet would sit, like this. This area over here that's gray, I want to put a piece of metal there. They can have a screw going the direction of my pencil to push the ratchet back this way, or let it fall this way depending on what I need. I'll probably elongate this hole, leave this one as is, just so there's some adjustment. Here's a ratchet. Has different diameters on it. So we have the teeth side and then we have the inside. The inside is where I need to put pressure. So I rolled a piece of scrap from making hoops, and I'll show that in a future video. But I was able to get a pretty close approximation, so there's no real rocking. This also is not necessarily precision work. I can actually adjust it by pulling on it. So I'm going to mark the area I want to use. I think ideally this would be welded. I'm going to get set up and bring the video back in a bit. These are the two pieces. You can see how bent these are. I'll go ahead and clean these up. So the plan is to get these tacked, then remove the ratchets. Try some of these. Perfect, but it's perfectly fine. So my plan here now that this is all welded and cleaned up. It actually fits extremely well, but too well. So if I want to pivot any, I need to take a little bit off the bottom down here. I can do that after the fact, but this black mark right here shows the angle at which I would like to put my set screw. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch, 1/4 set screw. Debating whether I want to drill that by hand or on the machine. Next, I have a 5/16 inch drill bit, which will fit through this hole fairly tight. It's a little loose. Then the next size up, I have a 21/64 that actually won't fit. That's going to be the perfect size. I just need to make this hole slightly bigger so there's some wobble room. So if it wants to fall backwards, it can. If I want to push it forward, I can. And that should give me a good 1/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch of a movement up this way. If I need more, I can adjust that hole later. If I don't actually need any, that set screw will make up for any of the looseness. Now, I want to get this set up before I do any painting. So what I'll do is I'll set everything up on the drum, get this dialed in. If it works, take it apart, paint it. If it doesn't work, take it apart, fix it, put it together again until everything is ready to go. Now this grinding job that I did here, my goal is actually to make it look like it was kind of part of the casting, not an added on part. So I might put a little bit of touch up JB weld or some Bondo in some of these holes or crevices that formed. Definitely not a professional welder. Alright, well, I'm gonna get to it. And if you're curious, the difference between a mill and a drill press is a mill is more sturdy most of the time, but it also has these X and Y axis that you can move around. So really they're meant to cut things like squares. There we go. Put that right where I want it. For 1/4 inch 20, we need a size 7 drill bit, or if we don't have that, we can use 13/64. Got this automatic center punch made by Isle Tools or something. I don't know. I'll see if I can find a link, put it in the description. This is one of my favorite tools for when I need to hand drill things, because it'll put a nice dimple where I want to put the drill bit. Alright. Makes a nice sharp dimple, but I like to do it twice. And then just line this up by eye. So I have this tap set that I'm going to use. There's 3 different types of taps in here. There is a tapered, a plug, and a flat or bottom one. I'm going to start with the tapered, and then just use the plug one. I don't need the flat bottom, that's for blind holes. Doing this by hand actually makes me a little nervous. Usually I would use the drill. Using a drill or a drill press or milling machine not only keeps it straighter, especially if it's all in the same setup, so drilling the hole and tapping at the same time, but when doing it by hand, you can tend to introduce sideways twist, which can snap the tap. Got a nice tapped hole now. So now I'm going to run this countersink over the tops of the holes that I just threaded, and then a bigger countersink over top the was 11/64 hole. Holes are deburred. Welding is done. Threaded. It's nearly ready for paint. set screw over here. That helps with that. So now I can push this up or let it back down. If it needs to go farther back this way, I can always file a little bit off. But it seems to have a good range of motion. So what I'm going to do, just to simulate years of use and wear, just fall all the way back up against this. What I can do is tighten this. You can see it's gradually pushing it out right here. See that gap is starting to form right there. It doesn't really have to be a lot. And that equates to about a 1/4 of an inch movement up on top. Once that's set, and this can be done with the drums already tuned with the heads on and everything like this. This feature, if you will, was certainly on the drums I have from '93. But the project drum that I had from the mid-'60s, it was aluminum. It had this shelf, but it didn't have the screw. So that was actually an easy modification on that. So that is done.